Are you struggling to pick the perfect paint colour for your skirting and all your other trims in your house? Are you worried about picking the wrong colour? Well, this video is for you because today I'm answering one of the most commonly asked questions that I get asked, and that really is, what colour do I paint my skirtings versus my wall colour? And I'm going to tell you the answer today. I'm going to break down 3 easy steps to help you pick the right colour for your skirting to make you feel a little bit more informed when you're choosing colours for your next room. Before we get started with my top 3 ways of choosing the perfect colour for your trim, I will say that there really is sometimes no wrong or right answer when it comes to interior design. Lots of interior designers have their own specific ways of painting. Some of them like using colour on skirtings, others don't, and it can be completely subjective. So the ways I'm going to share today are what I personally use in my projects and what I think is really modern and on trend right now for your home. Now, the first one I'm going to mention is the easiest option and actually what a lot of people go for, and that is just by painting their trim in a standard bright white paint. This has been one of the most classic ways to paint and decorate skirtings and woodwork in a home for a number of years now. It's not the most modern way to paint your skirtings, I will add. There's lots of other ways we can look to incorporate colour now. But if you are looking for an easy option, you're really not sure, bright white is something that a lot of people use in their homes, and it's a trusty way of just adding a little bit of a crisp contrast with your existing paintwork in your home. I wanted to mention this idea because there's nothing wrong with doing this. It's still a very classic way. Lots of traditional homes like to opt for white just to keep it crisp and a little bit minimal. Personally, for me, I like to go down a more modern way to decorate my skirtings, which I am going to share with you shortly. Now, the second way you can choose skirting colour and your architraves and your doors is probably one of the easiest, and that is literally by painting it in the same colour that you've got on your walls. Now, you might also be opting for a colour drenched look in your property, which really is modern and trendy right now. We have done it in a lot of rooms in this home now, and it just creates the most flawless look. This method is also a really good one if you've got a very tight, narrow hallway, very small, or perhaps you just want to make a room feel a little bit cozier. Now, the reason for that is because when you start introducing secondary or perhaps even third colours into the mix, it starts by segmenting the room into sections. Whereas when you have one colour from the floor all the way up to the ceiling, it flawlessly draws your eye up and it creates a much better flow in the space. Now, there are a lot of interior designers that actually swear by this trick. One is Kelly Hoppen, who is a very famous UK-based interior designer for celebrities, and she often has said in her books in the past she only ever uses the same colour on skirtings and the walls unless she is decorating a very large space that can handle those extra colours. And my third way that I'm going to share a little bit more information on now, and is how I often like to decorate in my own projects, and that is by picking a complementary colour on your skirting to go with your wall colour. Now, this is the part that a lot of people find difficult because they don't want to pick the wrong colour, they don't want to go back to that default bright white, but they're really not sure what colour they should be putting on the skirting. Now, I will say how I tend to pick my skirting colour, and I tend to go for something that is at least 2 shades darker than your wall colour. This is one of the easiest ways you can suddenly start breaking down the colours that are on offer to you when you're looking for that shade to match with your walls. And I'm going to give you a few examples so you can see exactly what I mean and how it really creates a beautiful harmonious balance. It really effectively adds definition to your room, and then your lighter colour is obviously on your walls, which draws the eye up, making the room feel that little bit bigger. It's one of the most modern ways, in my opinion, to add colour to your skirting if you're wanting to introduce additional tone and a little bit more depth to the space. And you can do it so easily with so many different shades. I'm now going to give you 4 examples of how I would execute this. In our own home, we have done this in our hallway and landing space now, and it has created the most stylish, trendy look. We have done this by using coat paints. We have safe play on the walls, throughout the landing and the hallway downstairs, and we have cargo finished on all of the woodwork. So that's the skirting, the architraves and the doors. And it is a beautiful balance of colours because you've got the softness and the warmth of Safe Play, which is kind of an almost muted greyish but looks really good no matter the light that comes into your space. And then Cargo is a real mixture between a grey and a green, but it's just got that definition in it which makes it look really beautiful whilst grounding the space as well. Now, because we have an entryway with stairs that go straight up, we've chosen the same colour on the treads on the stairs as well for a really flawless look which pulls you through the space. Where you might start introducing a third colour, or perhaps you might choose to go for a punchier colour on your staircase for a really fun and bold look. But that's a whole nother video that we can go on to at a different point. So that's my first example. I've got another example from Coat Paints who I really love using at the moment, and that is Jojo's White on the walls and Home Is on the skirting. This is a little bit more of a pared down approach to the first one I mentioned. It's got a simple sort of beautiful white, and then it's a cream on the skirting just to give that really gorgeous definition without overloading the space. Now, if you like neutral interiors, this is a really perfect combination, and you could carry this through your entire house if you wanted to. And I've got two Farrow and Ball examples because I know how much everyone loves the Farrow and Ball. We've got Schoolhouse White on the walls and then Elephant's Breath on the skirting. Elephant's Breath is just one of those gorgeous colours that adds definition. It's got a touch of grey to it, but it does look really good and effective when it is in a space like a landing or perhaps in a hallway entryway as well. And my last example, I wanted to pick a really popular white, which is Wimborne White. Lots of people love this. It's much loved because it's got a yellow based undertone, so it's great for creating warmth in kind of hallways with little light. It's great for using in spaces that lack light or they're a north facing room. I've got Wimborne White, and then on the skirting I've got Lime White, and as you can see it's just the most beautiful pair, and it's just got that subtle definition without it overpowering a room. Now, what I will say about Farrow and Ball, if you are ever stuck, this is why they have a section underneath their paints on their website that show you perfect trim colours, or as we call in the UK, skirtings, architraves, woodwork. The trim colour is what they suggest and what works really well with the colours. So if you ever need guidance, do take inspiration from that because they have all of that information available to you as well. And of course, I am going in at the stance here that I add slightly couple of shades darker. You might also have opportunities where you want to add a bit of a bolder, punchier colour. Now that as well is also completely fine to do. You want to make it feel intentional in the space. Now I've got an example of this in our bathroom. So in our bathroom we actually have a unit which is painted in Parma Grey whilst our walls are in Weathit by Farrow and Ball. Now because we've already got that Parma Grey in the space, just by wrapping the room in Parma Grey on the skirting, the architraves and the door, we've created a really intentional feel that ties the blue into the white and actually makes it feel like it should be there. What you wouldn't do is have your blue on your cabinet and then go for like a navy blue on your skirting, because it's just going to feel wrong and not intentional in the space. So other examples that you might do this are if you've got wallpaper, which I've got behind me here, and we finished Oxford Stone on the skirting. Now I didn't do a direct match from the wallpaper for this, which you can do. There's a service that will do this for you, which I think is super cool. It will literally pick the hex code from your wallpaper and give you the perfect skirting colour that is going to really complement it. I went for a tone that I knew would work with this, and we've actually used this colour all around the rest of the room, which you might see behind me here, and we've used that on all of our woodwork as well, and it looks really effective because it's just created a really cosy feel. So there are of course other occasions where you might choose different style of colour. Those are just a few of my favourite ways of picking a skirting colour versus your wall. It really doesn't have to be difficult, just breaking it down into those steps and understanding how you kind of want your space to feel, and just use those techniques next time you're trying to find the perfect colour. Of course, if you have any other questions or you're looking for other kind of paint ideas, perhaps of a different brand, then please do leave me a comment below, as I'll always come back with my recommendations. But other than that, I really hope you found today's video useful, and I look forward to seeing you on my next one.